Why good men lose and powerful men don't. Why do good men lose so often? You were raised on a promise that sounded fair. Be kind, be patient, be understanding, be available. And one day, a woman will see your heart and choose you. That promise was a lie, not because kindness is bad, but because kindness without strength is invisible. Look around. The men who give the most effort are usually the first to be ignored. The men who apologize the fastest are the ones taken the least seriously, and the men who make themselves endlessly available are the ones treated as optional. This isn't cruelty, it's reality. And the most dangerous part? Most of these men don't lose because they are bad partners. They lose because they are playing by rules that were never designed to reward them. You were trained to be a gentleman in a game that quietly rewards power. While you're typing paragraphs, trying to explain yourself, another man says 4 words, do what you want. And somehow, she can't stop thinking about him. Why? What does he understand that you don't? What invisible language is he speaking? Well, a language that creates desire, respect, and authority at the same time. Today we're going to decode that language, not through romance, not through fantasy, but through the mind of one of the most dangerous thinkers in history, Niccolò Machiavelli. A man who didn't write about love stories, he wrote about power, perception, and control of outcomes. And whether people admit it or not, attraction follows the same laws. This is not a video for men who want approval, it's for men who want self-command. Because Machiavelli understood one brutal truth: virtue without strength is useless. A man can be good, but if he lacks authority, he will be stepped on. And nowhere is this more obvious than in modern relationships. The nice guy confusion. The fatal mistake most men make is confusing kindness with submission. They believe that being agreeable makes them lovable, that avoiding conflict makes them safe, that sacrificing their needs proves their value. But what it actually communicates is this: I don't trust myself enough to risk losing you. And the moment that message is felt, respect begins to leak out of the interaction. Women are not testing how nice you are, they are testing how solid you are. They observe silently. Can this man hold his ground? Does he have boundaries? Can he say no without guilt? Can he stay calm when tension appears? If the answer is no, something activates, not attraction, but pity. And pity is the quiet beginning of the end. Machiavelli warned centuries ago, love without respect becomes manipulation. In relationships, if you don't define your standards, you will live inside someone else's. The submission trap. Think about the man who is always available, always agreeable, always adjusting. He believes he is being loving. But in her nervous system, something registers differently. She doesn't feel chosen, she feels responsible. And desire cannot survive responsibility. Female attraction is not born from male surrender, it is born from contained strength. Not dominance, not aggression, but emotional gravity. The kind of presence that does not bend under pressure. Here's a simple example. She texts at 2 a.m., knowing you have work early. The approval-seeking man responds instantly. The grounded man doesn't. Not to punish. Not to play games, but because his life has structure. Every interaction is an invisible negotiation. One man negotiates for affection, the other negotiates for respect. Only one of them keeps his value. The paradox of desire. Here is the rule most men resist. Everything you do to avoid losing her makes you more likely to lose her. The more you chase, the more you shrink. The more you explain, the weaker your frame becomes. The more you sacrifice your dignity, the less you are desired. Machiavelli understood this clearly. A ruler who governs from need loses authority. A ruler who governs from firmness keeps it. Being loved is pleasant, but if love requires you to abandon yourself, it is a bad trade. You are exchanging your crown for crumbs. And here's the painful truth. Many women don't consciously know why they lose interest. They don't wake up thinking, he's too nice. They just feel that something changed. What changed is your perceived value. The moment you demonstrate that you will trade self-respect for approval, desire collapses. Respect is not requested. It is inspired. The man who can walk away. The man who creates attraction is not the one who gives the most, it's the one who can say, this doesn't work for me. And mean it, not to threaten, not to manipulate, but because he respects himself enough to leave situations where he is not valued. That ability activates something deep in the human psyche, scarcity, the realization that his presence is not guaranteed, that his attention is a privilege, not a right. This is not arrogance, it is strategic self-worth. Machiavelli warned, whoever cannot control perception will lose power. The same rule applies here. If you do not shape how you are perceived, the emotional dynamic will be shaped for you. Power is not being cold. This is where many misunderstand. Power is not cruelty, boundaries are not punishment. Detachment is not hatred. You can be warm without being weak. You can be caring without being collapsible. Be fair, be consistent. Perception, mystery, and the silent control of desire. Most men lose attraction long before they lose the woman. They don't notice the exact moment it happens. There's no argument, no dramatic breakup, no clear mistake, just a gradual cooling. Replies get shorter, interest fades, energy disappears, and the man is left confused, replaying conversations in his head, wondering where things went wrong. Here's the truth most men never hear. Attraction doesn't die because you did something bad. It dies because you became readable. Machiavelli understood something most people still don't. People don't respond to who you are. They respond to who they believe you are. And belief is built through perception, not explanation. The danger of over-explaining. One of the fastest ways a man destroys desire is by explaining himself too much. He thinks clarity creates connection. He thinks honesty means full exposure. He thinks if she understands him, she will value him more. But what actually happens is the opposite. Every unnecessary explanation contains a hidden message. I need you to approve of my reasons. And the moment you seek approval, authority leaks. Machiavelli warned that a ruler who explains himself to everyone loses command, not because explanation is wrong, but because timing and scarcity matter. The man who justifies his actions places himself beneath the judgment of others. In attraction, that is fatal. Depth versus transparency. Most men confuse depth with transparency. They believe that showing everything builds intimacy, but intimacy does not require exposure. It requires gravity. Depth is not telling someone everything about you. Depth is making them feel there is more to discover. A woman does not fall in love with information. She falls in love with experience. And mystery is part of that experience. When she feels she has already figured you out, interest collapses. When she feels there is still something unreachable inside you, curiosity ignites. Machiavelli wrote, "Few see what you truly are, but many see what you seem to be. Your advantage is not being an open book. Your advantage is being a book that cannot be skimmed." The power of short answers are. Let's get practical, she asks. Why didn't you reply last night? The approval-seeking man panics. He explains, sorry, I was tired, then I fell asleep. Then I woke up. Then I thought about replying, but What does she hear? Nervous energy, justification, need. Now, compare that to a grounded response. I was busy. That's it. No emotion, no apology, no defense. You didn't deny her, you didn't disrespect her, you simply did not surrender control of the narrative. What happens next? Her mind fills the gap. And gaps are dangerous in a good way. Doubt appears, curiosity appears, interest sharpens, because desire lives in uncertainty. Why silence works? Silence is uncomfortable for men who fear loss, but silence is powerful to those who understand perception. Not everything deserves a response. Not every question needs an answer. Not every emotion needs validation. Silence is not indifference, it is containment. Think back to childhood. Sometimes a single look from a father carried more authority than a lecture. No shouting, no explanation, just presence. That same energy commands respect in adult relationships. When you speak less, your words carry weight. When you respond selectively, your attention gains value. When you don't rush to fill space, you control it. Machiavelli understood that the unpredictable ruler is the uncontrollable one, and the uncontrollable man cannot be dominated emotionally. The female mind and uncertainty. This is uncomfortable but true. The female mind obsesses over what it cannot predict, not because women are manipulative, but because uncertainty signals importance. If something is guaranteed, it becomes invisible. If something can be lost, it becomes valuable. This is not cruelty, it's biology. A man who is always available sends one clear signal: I am safe, but I am replaceable. A man whose attention is conditional sends another: my presence is earned. Which one creates tension? Which one creates desire? Machiavelli never spoke of romance, but he spoke endlessly about leverage. And uncertainty is leverage. Social media and self-devaluation. Now look at your digital presence. Do you post everything? Your meals, your emotions, your thoughts, your whereabouts? If so, you have already removed mystery. You have told the world, and her, that there is nothing left to uncover. You are accessible, visible, predictable. Your life should feel like a fortress. Some walls visible, some doors closed. She should wonder, what does he really spend his time on? Why doesn't he overshare? Why doesn't he need attention? Those questions are fuel. Men who broadcast everything lose intrigue. Men who curate presence gain gravity. This is not manipulation. It is self-respect expressed strategically. Truth has timing. Another mistake men make is revealing vulnerability too early. They think pain creates connection, but pain without context creates instability. Machiavelli warned that truth without timing becomes a weapon against the speaker. How many men have talked themselves out of attraction? By oversharing fears, by unloading trauma, by confessing insecurity before trust was earned. The result? She pulls away. Not because she is heartless, but because leadership energy collapsed. Strength does not mean pretending you don't feel. It means knowing when to reveal and to whom. A man who bleeds everywhere leaves stains. A man who bleeds privately heals. Mystery is not coldness. Important distinction. Mystery is not ignoring. Silence is not cruelty. Distance is not punishment. Mystery is selectivity. You choose what to share. You choose when to speak. You choose when access is granted, and choice is power. A man who answers every question gives control away. A man who pauses, observes, and responds intentionally holds the frame. Machiavelli taught rulers to never reveal all their plans. Why? Because predictability invites manipulation. The same applies here. Why being understood is a trap. Many men want one thing above all else: to be understood. They want her to see their intentions, their effort, their heart. But hidden inside that desire is a dangerous need: validation. And validation seeking is submission. A man who needs to be understood gives away authority. A man who does not require understanding becomes intriguing. Women don't admire transparency as much as men think. They admire depth. Depth suggests strength. Depth suggests self-sufficiency. Depth suggests a man who does not need to explain himself to exist. Perception over essence. Here is the core Machiavellian truth. People do not react to your essence. They react to your frame. A man can be disciplined, successful, emotionally intelligent, but if he presents himself as needy, he will be treated like a child. Another man can be flawed, quiet, even rough around the edges, but if he projects self-command, he will be treated like a leader. Attraction is not logical, it is perceptual, and perception is shaped by behavior, not words. The shift from solution to opportunity. The weak man presents himself as a solution. I'll be there for you. I'll fix this. I'll support you no matter what. It sounds noble, but it communicates dependence. The grounded man presents himself as an opportunity. My life is already solid. You may join it if you fit. That single shift changes everything. One begs for relevance, the other filters for compatibility. And women are attracted to men who filter, not men who beg. Detachment, withdrawal, and the power of being able to lose. Everything you have learned so far leads to one final truth that most men never master. Real power in relationships does not come from holding on. It comes from being able to let go without collapsing. This is where most men fail, not because they lack love, but because they lack emotional independence. They believe love is proven through persistence. They believe staying no matter what shows loyalty. They believe walking away means losing. Machiavelli understood something colder and far more accurate. Power is not built by what you protect at all costs. Power is built by what you are willing to lose. A prince who cannot imagine losing his throne is not respected. He is controlled by fear. The same applies to relationships. The man who cannot imagine life without her has already surrendered his position. Why detachment is misunderstood. Detachment is often mistaken for coldness. It is not. Detachment is emotional sovereignty. It means you can care deeply without becoming dependent. It means you can love without begging. It means your identity does not collapse when someone withdraws affection. Most men confuse attachment with intimacy. Attachment says, I need you to feel whole. Intimacy says, I choose you, but I remain whole without you. Only one of these creates attraction, the other creates pressure, and pressure suffocates desire. The moment power shifts, there is a precise moment when power shifts in a relationship. It is the moment one person realizes the other needs them more. From that moment forward, desire erodes, not because the other person becomes evil, but because the dynamic becomes unbalanced. Machiavelli warned that imbalance invites manipulation, even unconsciously. When one person has everything to lose and the other has nothing to lose, the outcome is already decided. That is why emotional independence is not optional. It is foundational. strategic withdrawal. Withdrawal is not punishment. Withdrawal is consequence. When respect disappears, attention must disappear with it. Most men react incorrectly when a woman's behavior changes. They confront emotionally, they complain, they explain how they feel, they ask for reassurance. All of these actions communicate the same thing. I am afraid to lose you. Fear is not attractive. The Machiavellian response is different. It is quiet, it is calm, it is final. When reciprocity fades, the powerful man does not negotiate his value. He withdraws access. Not with anger, not with drama, not with speeches. He simply becomes unavailable. And this creates something devastatingly effective: a void. Why silent exit is unforgettable. When you argue, the other person has something to fight against. When you explain, they have something to dismiss. When you beg, they feel superior. But when you leave silently, they have nothing to defend against, only questions. What happened? Did I misjudge him? Did I lose him for good? How could someone leave without needing closure? That uncertainty lodges deep in the mind. Machiavelli advised rulers to be feared in a way that does not create hatred. In relationships, this means your exit must be clean. No insults, no accusations, no emotional explosions, just absence. Absence is powerful because it forces reflection. The man who is never forgotten. Men who beg are forgotten. Men who rage are dismissed. Men who plead are pitied. Men who leave with dignity are remembered. Not because they were perfect, but because they demonstrated self-respect when it mattered most. A man who can release a woman with the same calm certainty he once chose her leaves a permanent imprint. Because that act says something without words. It says, I value myself more than this situation. That message cannot be ignored. Love versus dependency. Here is the hardest truth to accept. The man who insists the most is not the man who loves the most. He is the man who fears the most. Love does not require self-abandonment. Love does not require endurance of disrespect. Love does not require shrinking. When you stay where you are not valued, you are not being loyal, you are being afraid. And fear destroys attraction faster than mistakes ever could. Machiavelli warned that those who cannot prepare for loss become slaves to fate. In relationships, this means if you are not prepared to lose her, she owns you emotionally. Always keep an exit. This does not mean planning to leave, it means knowing you can. A dignified exit is not a threat, it is a boundary. The moment you notice yourself becoming anxious, needy, or smaller to keep someone, you are already losing yourself, and staying longer only deepens the loss. Walking away hurts, but staying where you are not respected costs more. One damages your emotions, the other damages your identity. Only one is recoverable. The price of staying too long. Many men wait until they are emotionally destroyed before they leave. By then, the damage is done. They leave broken, resentful, and ashamed. The powerful man leaves earlier. He leaves the moment he recognizes the dynamic is corrupting his self-respect. Not because he feels nothing, but because he feels enough to protect himself. That kind of departure creates something rare. Unforgettable dignity. Why the ability to leave creates desire. The paradox is cruel but real. The man who can leave is the man no one wants to lose, not because he manipulates, but because he is not owned. His presence is chosen, not guaranteed, and what can be lost is protected. What is guaranteed is neglected. This is not a tactic, it is a consequence of self-command. Machiavelli's final lesson applied to love. Machiavelli never taught cruelty. He taught control of self. He taught discipline over impulse, calculation over emotional reaction, long-term power over short-term comfort. Applied to relationships, this means you do not chase what disrespects you, you do not explain what does not deserve explanation, you do not stay where reciprocity is gone, you withdraw with clarity, and that clarity is felt long after you are gone. The man you are becoming. If you understand this, you are no longer the man who started this journey. You now know why being good is not enough, why availability does not create desire, why predictability without strength creates boredom. You now understand that respect is not requested, it is enforced through boundaries. Desire is not begged for, it is provoked through self-worth. And love should never cost you your dignity. Power is not domination of others, power is mastery of yourself. Be the man who can love deeply and leave cleanly. Be the man who values connection but never sacrifices identity. Be the man who is warm but unowned. That man does not need to chase. He is chased in memory, even in absence. But never be desperate. Every act of kindness that betrays your integrity reduces respect. And here is the irony. Only when respect exists can love grow. Desire is not born from availability. It is born from value that is protected. Look at the men who create the strongest pull. They are not the ones centered around the relationship. They are the ones centered around purpose. Men whose lives are already full. Men who make others wonder, do I have him? Or do I still need to earn my place? A woman may appreciate a good man, but she desires a self-directed one. The real source of power. Machiavelli never wrote about romance. He wrote about governing perception. And attraction follows perception more than intention. You don't win when someone chooses you. You win when they fear losing you. Not because you threaten, but because your life does not revolve around their validation. No risk, no tension, no desire. If something cannot be lost, it is not valued. And that includes men who make themselves emotionally permanent. Absolute availability does not excite. It anesthetizes. When she knows you will always be there, no matter what, you stop being an option. You become background noise, furniture, and nothing kills attraction faster than predictability without depth. Pause and reflect. Ask yourself honestly, how often have you changed your plans to keep her happy? How often have you replied immediately out of anxiety? How often have you felt uneasy when silence appeared? That feeling you call love. She experiences it as pressure. Machiavelli wrote, "He who depends on another's will has already surrendered his freedom." In relationships, dependency kills polarity. And polarity is the engine of attraction. Biology searches for leaders, not followers. The moment you say, "I'll adapt to whatever you want," you step into a subordinate frame. What comes next? Risk does not mean chaos. Risk means your presence has weight. If your time is disrespected, you withdraw it. If your value is ignored, you remove access. This creates calm authority, but not fear, but consequence. Luxury works the same way. Expensive things are not valuable only because of quality. They are valuable because of scarcity. If you are always available, your value drops. If your life is structured, focused, and self-directed, attention must be earned. This is not a trick. This is alignment. And in the next part, we're going deeper. We'll break down why mystery matters more than transparency, why explaining yourself kills attraction, and how silence becomes a form of emotional leadership. This is only the foundation.